The force of this tornado was unbelievable.
Building was shaking.
It's a very frightening thing when the earth, which is supposed to be stable, suddenly decides to move.
You feel powerless.
When you suddenly realise you have nothing, it's the most devastating feeling.
It's actually really beyond anybody's imagination.
It's a struggle having to rebuild and bring their life back together.
It was such a sad story for our people.
Following every major disaster of the last decade, Lions and LCIF have been there. In fact, the first grant ever awarded from LCIF was for disaster relief.
Every time there's been a disaster, who's always been in the front line? It's Lions.
Lions are able to respond quickly because they are backed by their foundation, LCIF.
Whenever need arises, our Lions Club International Foundation will extend their support.
Lions have proven time after time they're able to quickly mobilize basic necessities to help neighbors in need.
When the infrastructure is destroyed, everybody is on their own, and that's when Lions can really make a big difference.
Emergency grants are provided within hours by LCIF to Lions in those communities.
Put it over here on this side.
Often Lions are living in the affected areas and are among the victims.
We have lost 30 fellow Lions, and many of their relatives have been killed. Still, those Lions in the area started to serve others who needed help.
Lions worldwide generously donated US $21 million to support relief and rebuilding efforts in Japan.
Many trucks from all over Japan went to the area with emergency supplies.
Following the earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand, LCIF was there for Lions.
Within 72 hours, LCIF had opened a worldwide appeal for Lions, and this has resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars being available for long-term recovery projects.
New Zealand Lions received emergency grants to address the lack of clean water and sanitation.
We're part of the community, we know the community, we know where to find the resources. We're there on the ground the second it happens.
In 2010-2011, LCIF provided more than 70,000 people with immediate relief following disasters. In Joplin, Missouri, Lions partnered with First Response to clear homes destroyed by the tornado.
I should think Lions Club was all about just meetings and eye tests and that sort of thing. This demonstrates that you guys are big, you're out there, you're willing to help, and we just really appreciate it. Big time. Thanks.
Last year, Lions gave an estimated 2 million volunteer hours to disaster relief, helping more than 5 million people worldwide. In the last 10 years, LCIF has given over $50 million to aid hundreds of communities ravaged by tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and fires.
We come in, we try to assist the people put their lives back together.
Following the tsunami in Southeast Asia, Lions rebuilt communities in Thailand, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and India.
We are thankful to the Lions Clubs for giving these houses and making the entire village happy.
In Sichuan, China, Lions restored hope for young and old. They built schools for children and homes for the elderly. In Haiti, smiles are returning to hundreds of displaced families.
After the earthquake, we lived in a tent, and when it rained, we had problems with our skin. Thank you, Lions, for giving us a better life.
It's great to see these people going out of tents into the houses. The life is getting more normal for them, and that's really important.
Lions and LCIF not only help reconstruct buildings and change lives, they revitalize communities. In partnership with Humanitaria International and the Haitian government, LCIF helped rebuild a national nursing school.
A good school of nurses is fundamental for the future of Haiti.
After the earthquake, I saw so many injured, and we didn't have enough nurses to help them. That strengthened my resolve to become a nurse and make a difference in people's lives.
And by rebuilding schools, Lions and LCIF are investing in the future.
I want to become a psychologist because lots of people need help, and that's how I can best serve my country.
LCIF is like a ray of hope that shines through the darkest hours with the promise of brighter days to come.
The Lions have been here from the very beginning. We're going to be right here for the long haul. I would encourage anybody to give to the Lions Club International Foundation. They truly are here for you.
Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you for being here.
Thank you, LCIF.
Thank you, Lions.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 35th episode of the Weekly Leadership Series, the first installment in our Focus of the Foundation series. I want to thank everybody for being here. So in today's topic, we're going to talk about the Lions Club International Foundation's disaster relief. When natural disasters strike, Lions are amongst the first to offer the help. With a disaster grant, they can do even more for communities devastated by hurricanes, floods, fires, and other major events. As a foundation, we are proud to offer a variety of grant options to support various stages of disaster relief operation. Today's speaker is Mahesh Chitnis. Mahesh Chitnis is a past council chair and a GAT area leader serving the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. He joined the association as a Leo in 1985. He is devoted to promoting hands-on volunteering services to help our communities. He is recognized worldwide for his compassion and innovation service ideas. He is an accomplished team builder in for-profit and non-profit sectors. Mahesh is recognized for his work in youth and women empowerment and social inclusion. He has motivated several teenagers to become more efficient leaders. In 2021, he was elected to serve as a state advisor to the Council of Governors of multiple District 16, New Jersey, USA.
Thank you, Ritika, for that great introduction. And thank you, Leos, for inviting me to speak to you about the Lions Club International Foundation and disaster relief. I have never been an officer of Lions Club International Foundation, but the experiences that I had with the Lions Club International Foundation, LCIF, and the disaster relief made me hooked on to our foundation. This is the foundation for all of us Lions. We always hear about the accomplishments of Lions Club's International Foundation, which was established by Lions Clubs in the year 1968. That makes it a 53-year-old organization. And it started giving the grants to our clubs about 50 years back, 1972 to be exact. Since then, the Lions Club International Foundation has given close to $1 billion in grant in various areas. But today, my goal is to talk about the disaster relief in specific, the grants that are given for disaster relief. The Lions Club International Foundation has a proven track record in terms of the disaster relief. As a matter of fact, the very first grant that was given by Lions Club International Foundation was for disaster relief. In 1972, a $5,000 grant, a small grant, was first given to District 5 SW to assist the Rapid City, South Dakota flood victims. That time there were 3,000 individuals were injured and more than 1,200 homes were destroyed when they had 50 inches of rain, which fell in a very, very short period of time, turning everything into rivers. The roads were turned into rivers, and the Kenyan Lake Dam, which failed, and the water rushed into the town. That was the first grant, disaster relief grant, that was given by LCIF, and the first grant in the globe for the Lions Club International Foundation. Before we go any further, let me play an official video from Lions Club International to let you know about what Lions Club International Foundation does in terms of the disaster relief.
Across the earth, wherever disaster strikes, Lions are among the first to lend a hand, addressing immediate needs and staying for as long as it takes to finish the work. Lions Club's International Foundation empowers Lions with the resources to make a real difference. Over half a century, the foundation has given much needed help, providing over $100 million in just the last 10 years. These efforts are spearheaded by Lions members, a grassroots network of more than 1 million caring volunteers in over 200 countries. From providing a place of healing and comfort in a town recovering from the tsunami in Japan, to rebuilding schools in Nepal, to emergency relief for people suffering in Puerto Rico, giving comfort and hope to those who have lost everything is one of the most important things Lions do. Lions Club's International Foundation, empowering service.
As you saw in the video, the Lions Club International Foundation empowers us Lions to serve our communities during the disasters. And I have the first-hand experience. I got hooked on to Lions Club International Foundation during and after the Superstorm Sandy disaster hit our area. I'm going to talk about the Superstorm Sandy and the aftermath of that a little later in the presentation. But just to let you know that Lions Club International Foundation does not only give the relief grants for the relief efforts, but it does provide us the relief during each phase of the disaster. So let me go over the different grants that are available during different phases of a disaster. The very first is Disaster and Emergency Preparedness Grant. This grant is given well before the disaster strikes. It is for preparing us to make sure that our clubs, the areas are ready for facing any disaster that will come our way. We hope that there are no disasters, but unfortunately, so many of us have to go through the natural or man-made disasters every single year. Disaster and Emergency Preparedness Grant is given up to $10,000. Help us to prepare. It does require 10% local funding for the grant to be acquired. It helps in preparing or stockpiling the goods that we might need during the different kinds of disasters that we will face. So this goes hands in hand with another program that Lions have called Lions Alert. So this program helps the implementing alert program into your districts. Then when a disaster hits, the emergency grant is given to any district who goes through that disaster. The grant is given up to $10,000. It is for the immediate relief efforts. Something like getting food for the victims, bringing in water. Most of the disasters that we face with, they are associated with water in one way or the other. Let it be a twister or a hurricane or flooding. There are many times that there is a scarcity of water, potable water, drinkable water. So bringing in water or clothing and first aid and cleaning supplies. And in our case, when we had Superstorm Sandy, the blankets, the emergency grants can support us in providing those resources for our clubs. Then the next phase, the community recovery grants. The emergency grants doesn't allow us to use the funding on equipments and things that are that are required for actual getting back to normalcy. The community recovery grant helps us doing that. It is given up to $20,000 and helps communities to go back to work and help them to start rebuilding their communities. These grants can be given for the equipments and supplies for cleaning, the minor repairs, and helping the simple things like if somebody has lost their eyeglasses, giving them glasses. If they have lost their hearing aids, bringing those things to them. That is the way that a community recovery grant can be used. Then at times when these disasters that we face, they go much beyond these one-time help. There are some major catastrophes. The Lions Club International Foundation can give a MCAT, that is called Major Catastrophe Grant, up to $100,000. But that is not it. It can be given, even a higher grant can be given to the club, to the districts, if the catastrophe is devastating more and more people in the area. The major catastrophe grant can be used for rebuilding, supporting the construction activities, as well as helping to rebuild the public facilities like libraries and power stations and so on. So these are the 4 phases of a disaster, as well as the way that we can use the grant for the disaster relief. Now, I'm going to talk about my personal experiences with the Lions Club International Foundation. In about 10 years back, in 2012, our area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, was hit with Superstorm Sandy. My hometown sits on the mouth of Raritan River. When Superstorm Sandy hit our area, which it made a landfall very close to where I live, the water from the Raritan River was pushed back inwards, and there was a lot of flooding in our area. I was working with the district governor that time. We reached out to all the clubs in the area, and we were trying to figure out how Lions can help our communities. Fortunately, I was helping a local shelter, and we found out that there is a big need for the blankets. It was close to the winter, and things were getting colder, and we needed warmth in the houses because we did not have power. The fireplaces were not working. So we decided to bring in the blankets to help our community. What we did as a district, that we brought in as many blankets that we can buy with the $10,000 emergency grant that we received, and we started distributing them. Along with that, working with FEMA, we distributed drinking water. We volunteered at the local shelters and supported the emergency relief effort. Overall, the effort that my club was putting in, that was complemented by the work, the funds that we got from the Lions Club International Foundation. Again, I gave you my story from our area, but everybody in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut was devastated. Let's watch a small video explaining what happened in our area.
Superstorm Sandy ravaged the east coast of the United States in October. Many residents lost everything: their homes, cars, even their lives. But Lions and LCIF are there, with emergency grants and volunteers providing much-needed relief.
We cannot physically go in and help every single household, but if we can just give them a little piece of hope and let them know that they can get back on their feet.
And I always let them know that it seems bad right now, but we as Lions going to be here for you to see you through.
With grants from LCIF and donations collected by clubs, districts, and members, Lions have been able to provide basic necessities. Massachusetts Lions drove to New York and set up a soup kitchen. Other Lions came to assist with the massive cleanup. From near and far, Lions are reaching out to help Sandy's victims.
I'm alive, I'm fine.
Rosemary Joyner, a Lion in New York, is grateful. She was rescued from her third-floor window when water from the bay rose up to the second story of her home.
These things all have to be thrown out because it was salt water. This is material stuff. The most important thing in all this room was my life, and I saved my life.
Though Rosemary's belongings were damaged, her spirit wasn't dampened. A true Lion, Rosemary was out helping others the day after her dramatic rescue.
There's always someone worse than you. I was not doing anything. As you see my house, I couldn't stay in here. I went to help.
You needed a blanket. Immediately after the water receded, Lions started venturing into heavily affected areas to see what was needed and to deliver goods directly to residents. And Lions keep coming back.
I have been to Far Rockaway in these last couple of weeks many times. We were there days right after the devastation. And you have to help, and that's what we do. Our motto says it, we serve.
The Lions Club is awesome, you know, they came down, they gave us all the spring gear, get our house back in order, and just try and get back to some kind of normalcy in our lives.
Perhaps greater than any donation is the emotional support that Lions are extending to victims of Sandy.
When I see someone that's been devastated, my heart, I just ache for them, and I can't help but want to do as much as I possibly can for them.
That is what we are good at, coming from the heart and making our communities heal. If you see on my screen, we have a few pictures of the blanket distribution that our district, our clubs did. My home club and few more clubs continued that tradition. All these pictures that you are seeing, they're not just immediately after Superstorm Sandy, but we kept going back to the area and we kept giving the blankets every Thanksgiving to keep people warm. That is what we do. We don't just, since we are local to each of the areas, we just don't come for only a disaster relief at that moment, but we continue to support the communities till it is needed. Again, our disaster relief effort it is not only focused on the natural disaster. Sometimes there are man-made disasters that we face. One of the major disasters that we faced in my area was the devastation of the terrorist attack on World Trade Center on 9/11. When the Twin Towers fell, Lions of New York immediately got into action. Eventually, they got support from New Jersey, Connecticut, and Lions all over the Mid-Atlantic. And we started working on a variety of things with the help of Lions Club International Foundation. One of the lead lions in that was Lion Dr. Maureen Murphy, who is the spouse of past President Al Brandau. She is a medical doctor, and she was leading a team to support the rescue operations at Ground Zero. We sprung into action right away, supporting in many ways, providing packed food for the people who were cleaning the debris. We gave them emotional support. And one thing that if you see the picture on the right, the container, shipping container that you see, Lions bought several such shipping containers and put them, insulated them, put the air conditioning in that, and they were used as the temporary shelters for these rescue workers. They got first aid there. They got some place to sit and eat, take showers, and things like that. So Lions Club International Foundation supported that Ground Zero effort at that time. But as I mentioned, our work doesn't stop when the major disaster is finished. We still keep working. I'm going to put the grants that were given to 9/11 effort of all the Lions clubs. The Lions Club or the community service grant we received in tune of $192,000. But the most important part that you see here, the family camping retreats for $1.6 million. It might not seem to be a grant for the disaster, but it was. This family camping retreat was for the kids who lost either one or two of their parents, and they were facing some mental health issues, and they were feeling left out. They lost that feeling of belonging. So there was this family retreat which helped the victims of 9/11. Let me play a small video for you to let you know about what happened with this particular family retreat.
I think when bad things happen, people benefit from feeling like there's somebody out there that cares. Camp Sunshine is a retreat for families of kids with life-threatening illnesses and bereaved families. After 9/11, Camp Sunshine ran 5 programs for families in which a parent died on 9/11.
Our Lions Club members went up and helped with the camp.
The Lions made the program happen, and they really helped sustain it between 2002 and 2005.
We financially supported them with help from Lions Club International Foundation.
Without that funding, it never would have come to be, and I think it really was the Lions who helped us in the communities to connect to people and to know what families had been impacted, and so it was several dimensions of Lions support that I think was helpful for people, and I think could be helpful in any situation in which such bad things happen.
Probably one of the most meaningful things a Lion can do when you have somebody that just suffered a disaster, just to look in their eyes and just listen to them and say, it's okay, we're here with you.
Kindness matters. That's the first step in helping. It may be that if you're in the middle of a crisis, support from a stranger actually has even greater meaning, and I think helping itself sparks a certain kind of energy and a certain kind of hopefulness.
When something happens, a crisis happens, when there's something negative going on in the world, we can be the positive thing to make people's lives a little bit better. And when we do that, not only makes their lives better, but affects us as a human being.
Yes, kindness does matter. And Lions and Lions Club Foundation together, we have done that. We have provided that ray of hope to several communities when they faced with either a natural or man-made disaster. Take example of any major disaster in last decade, and Lions were there. May it be the tsunami in Indian Ocean, and tsunami in Japan, and earthquakes, and the earthquakes in Puerto Rico, the hurricanes in several areas. Lions were there, and Lions Club International Foundation was there to support them. So with that, we are running short of time. So let's get back to the questions if you have any.
So I have a question. You spoke about the work of Lions during the Superstorm Sandy in 2012. What impact did Leos have on this disaster relief?
Very good question. The Leos were there. We needed Leos. It is just not that we carried them along with us, but we needed the support of all our Leos because we were dealing with other kids. Our Leos came with us, worked with us in distributing the blankets. They gave the blanket to other kids, gave them a hug, talked to them, and they made them feel better. That is the impact of the Leo moment. You are just not there to carry the blankets for us, but providing that heart, that helping the people to reduce their pain. And that our Leos did marvelously. I really applaud the Leos who work with us and helped the local communities.
Thank you so much for answering that, and thank you so much for coming in and talking about this event. Now I'd like to turn it over to the leadership chairperson, Leo Lion Chitnis, to deliver our closing message.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, PCC Mahesh, who happens to be our Leo advisor, and Leo Rithika for putting this program together. I think this has been a great insight into disaster relief, which is kind of our pet cause as Lions, something that we can all rally behind and get behind to, hopefully empower service worldwide. Like Leo Rithika said in our introduction, this is the first in our series of focus on the foundation. And I'd just like now to highlight our episode for tomorrow, which is going to be focusing on another cause area of LCIF, which is humanitarian efforts. We're featuring PID Aruna Oswal, who happens to be one of the lead donors of LCIF, as well as being an LCIF trustee this year. Thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Leo Rithika and PCC Mahesh, for that exciting and engaging presentation. Once again, thank you to the audience for continuing to support us in this Lead with a Vision series. As you all know, we are winding down, and our final episode is going to be on the 20th of June. But in between now and then, we have 4 more episodes of Focus on the Foundation, as well as our final episode, which is going to focus on how Leos develop future leaders, both within our association and outside. Thank you all so much for joining us. As always, the attendance certificate link has been provided in the chat, as well as been scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the program. Please follow us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube so you stay updated with our series and all the other projects that we're working on at the moment. Thank you all so much once again. Please continue to lead with the vision, and I hope to see you tomorrow for our next session with PID Aruna.